G'day everybody, Wade Northhausen here for Billboard Battalion. We're currently here at Parliament House in Spring Street in Victoria, in Melbourne, and this is a rally that's trying to deal with the Allen government wanting to bring in a firefighters and an emergency services fund to really rip a lot more money out of not only rural areas but also city, country areas as well. So we've got speakers here happening. So we might just have a bit of a listen to what's happening here. And we've got a few fire trucks at the front here as well. So we'll just go and have a bit of a listen to what people are saying. At the minute, Danny O'Brien's speaking. Brett Hosking just spoke. So we'll go and see if we can get a bit closer to speakers and hear what's happening.
That is going to flow through the entire economy as much as it's going to hurt our farmers as well at 181%. At the same time, that you're all facing a very, very worsening drought across the state at the moment. But as Brett said, we've stopped this twice. It's now been deferred from today to Thursday because the government doesn't have the numbers. So what my message to you guys, apart from thank you for coming, is to keep up the fight. Spread the message to your family and friends. Spread your message to people in the city that you know. Get them to get on to their local members, particularly to the crossbenchers in the upper house, and tell them to scrap this tax. Scrap the tax. Scrap the tax. Scrap the tax.
Scrap the tax for sure.
Well done. The tax is crap. The tax is crap. That's right. Well said.
Andrew Wiedemann speaking at the minute.
So now I'd just like to call on Emma Keeley. Emma's our local member up home. She's also the deputy leader of the National Party. So please give a round of applause for Emma Keeley, please.
Thank you so much, Weedy, and thank you to everybody who's made the effort to come here to Parliament to give the Allen Labor government a clear message, and that is that country people will not take this endless taxing, this endless ripping of money out of our regions, that we will not take another surrogate land tax at a time particularly when we are facing terrible seasonal conditions. Now, I look at people across here and they're from right across my electorate and right across the state. They are busy at the moment. People are sowing. People are carting hay. They're carting water, which is one of the hardest jobs to do in farming. But you have taken the time out of your farm duties to send a message to Parliament. And it's not a quick trip when you're travelling in a CFA truck or a former CFA truck. And it's not as if you can't afford that time, because what did you do all of summer? You're on the back of a truck fighting fires. Now, I just want to thank each and every one of you who gave up your time to help us with our fires in the Grampians region or the Little Desert, because it was so many of you that gave up your own time, that were on the back of a fire truck, that were back of a private appliance. You paid your farm hands to go and fight those fires. And it wasn't just for a single day, it was for most of December and most of January and into February. Thank you. And you know what? I think you deserve thanks. I think the last thing that any of you deserve is a massive, massive new tax that will take millions and millions of dollars out of our rural and regional communities, and it won't go back to the CFA volunteers. It won't go back to our community sporting clubs that we sponsor locally. It won't go back to the shops that employ local people in our communities. It'll go into Labor's big black hole because Labor can't manage money, and it is the Victorian taxpayer that is paying every single time. Productive taxpayers, for those that didn't hear the call out. Now, we know that the Allen Labor government are just applying this lazy tax because they haven't been able to apply a land tax to farmers in the past. And that's because we know that seasonal conditions and productivity vary from year to year. You don't need to be told this. You live the life. You know how you operate your businesses to make sure that everybody who had a bowl of Wheaties this morning or enjoyed a loaf of bread or a fresh orange juice could do that in the state of Victoria. You are the people that are putting food on the table. But the Labor government just see you as another pocket they can put their hand into to spend money in Melbourne, in fact, to waste money in Melbourne. Labor cannot manage money, and it is simply unfair that they're applying this massive tax that will hit farmers the hardest. I commend each and every one of you for coming out and standing up to the Labor government today, but don't let the fight end today. We've had a small reprieve. The debate and the vote was supposed to happen today, but because your voice has been heard, we've been able to push it back to Thursday because Labor simply don't have the numbers. Today isn't the end of the fight. Today we're sending a message to the Allen Labor government. We will keep that fight going until Labor scrap the tax and support our farmers in Victoria. Thank you all again for coming. Keep the fight going. Keep ensuring that the Labor government don't take our farmers for granted. They don't take people in rural and regional Victoria for granted. That we as Victorians will not stand for Labor's continual waste of money, and that we make sure we support rural and regional Victoria, we support our CFA volunteers, and most importantly, we support our farmers. Thanks for coming along today.
Thanks, Emma. Thanks very much. And it would be very fitting today to finalise our last speaker, Kevin Butler. Kevin, come up, Kevin. Kevin's a recipient of the OAM for his work in volunteerism here in Victoria with Blaze Aid, amongst many other things. He's a regular on the on the Macca on Sunday. Sorry, mate, the Coota Beans. But Macca, obviously, big supporter through the ABC of what happens in rural Australia and also rural Victoria. So I'll hand over to Kevin to give us a few words of wisdom. So thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Andrew. Like me, who was feeding sheep this morning or feeding cattle last night? Who was out doing that? There was a heap of us, yeah. And you're here today. I rang around last night and there's about 5 or 6 of my fellow farmers who couldn't make it. One was dipping sheep, another one was mustering cattle to send them off to Yea. And this rally would have been far bigger had we had more notice. But the thing is, we're here now, and I salute all of you for making the effort, because I haven't spoken at a rally like this before. In fact, I don't like the idea of rallies. But when I heard about this shocking tax, there was only one thing I could do, and that was support. And I was just so glad that this was organised. So thank you, Andrew. I don't know, founding Blaze Aid was really tough. It started in the woolshed on my farm after 270 people died. And I felt really guilty because my farm survived and it was time to take action. And bit by bit, it's become this massively well-oiled machine. And right now, the Grampians, we've got 2 Blaze Aid base camps with volunteers just like you who are getting their fingers cut with barbed wire. They're out there working away. Up in southwest Queensland, we've got volunteers up there, places like Junda, Pargaminda and Longreach to come and Quilpie and so on. And how would it be if I said to my 44,000 volunteers, I'm going to charge you $100 a day for volunteering for Blaze Aid? Because that's what's happening to you and I right now. You know, we've got our own private firefighting units. In my area, we've got a little Blaze Alert. We work with the CFA in training so that we're prepared for the fire season. And now, with this shocking tax that's being put on us, the insult that we have to suffer for working so hard for our community, for the people that we love. I mean, I was trying to think of a metaphor of something so bad as this. And the only metaphor I could think of was my grandfathers and grandmothers who went through the Irish famine in 1848 and how they were dying because of the failure of the potato crop. And along come the English government and they took the corn and other bits and pieces and stole it and sent it to their soldiers in India. And that's how my family came out to Australia. That's the only metaphor I can think of. I mean, let's call this what it is. It's just a real black dog leadership, because in the country, we do go out there every day, we feed our stock, we see how hard it is, and then we've got a leadership that puts this layer on top of us of this increased tax at a time that we've got very severe drought. We're wondering what we're going to do next month because we know there's going to be a green drought. We've got to see our ewes and our cows through with their lambs and calves. And then we've got, I know I've got my rates notice in my back pocket. I did the maths. No, mine's going up about $3,000 or $4,000 because of this. It's true, it's 189% to 250% rise. Is this unfair? Yeah. I mean, is this un-Australian? Yeah. Yes. So, you know, my belief, way that I built up Blaze was going for the jugular, to saying it what it is, and speaking the truth and caring and loving others. My belief is that I do hope that it is extended longer than 2 days. When we have the opportunity, we need to come down again. We need to feed our sheep at night or in the morning, or cattle or whatever. We need to make plans. We've got to get a group as big as this to send a message and make Jacinta and Jacqueline uncomfortable. The next election is 1.5 years away. They are on the skids. This is wrong. Anyway, look, I thank you all for coming. I've spoken long enough. My wife said to me, Kevin, please don't talk for too long. So, look, thank you very much, and I really do salute you all. Well done, Kevin. Like everybody here, I'm really proud of everybody that's turned up today and supported us. Probably, as Kevin said, and we invited the Premier, we invited Jacqueline. They've been invited to attend and speak. Clearly, they weren't going to. Yep. And I think what Kevin said is right. We've got the opportunity on the 26th of November 26 to vote this government out, but we've got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do, haven't we? Yeah, the skeleton's crying. A bit like the state's budget. So, look, thanks again for coming, but there are a lot of things we can do. We've all got friends here in Melbourne. Send the word, social media. There's all of the petitions that has been spoken about. Get on board, make sure that you get those signed. Get them on to your friends here in Melbourne. I've got friends here in Melbourne today as well. They're all standing here on the steps with us. And because they realise their levies going up as well. And people here in Melbourne just don't know. They actually just don't know. And I think that's what we have to send a message clearly today to make sure that they do understand. That levy is going to impact every asset owner here in Victoria if it is passed. And the only way we're going to survive this is by legal action, and we will be back. If this continues, we will be back. Guaranteed, and we will be bigger and stronger, and we will come. We will come from all parts of Victoria to continue to send the message to the Labor government. Get your budget right, get the books right, and get your attitude right, because you're just missing out. I want to say thank you to those guys on Friday who set the scene. I called them the icebreakers. You ever see that film, the icebreakers? I felt that they did a fantastic job. They hit Bendigo. They're here in Melbourne. They're back again today, some of them. So the energy is there, the passion's there. And look out, Jacinta, because I can tell you what, there's a camp out coming for your office for a long time forward from here if you don't get this right. Bendigo, you're on the map.
We will be there. We'll be there weekly, sitting at your doorstep until you get this right. The Labor government here in Victoria needs the message today that people matter. We matter.
Yeah.
The really important thing out of today is to make sure, some of you have got the crossbench list that we've been pushing around. Please, please don't leave it here today on the steps. We can do it from home. We can do it. There are people listening online. There are people out there who can get online now. Write a letter to the crossbench. Send a message to the crossbench. We need their support to scrap the tax.
Scrap the tax. Scrap the tax. Scrap the tax. Scrap the tax. Scrap the tax. Scrap the tax. Scrap.
We're going to scrap the tax, all right. All right, so look, thanks again, everyone. The ABC Country Hour is going to be from here today. Warwick Long is here. So please hang around, talk amongst yourselves. I know Warwick's looking for a few people to send that message to all of rural Victoria. National TV is here, so make sure we get the message right. Scrap the tax! Scrap the tax! Scrap the tax! All right, and I thank you to all of the police force and the security around the Parliament for allowing us to probably extend ourselves onto the steps of Parliament like you have today. Really appreciate that support from all of the police force here in Victoria. They're behind us as well, so thank you. Send the message. Thanks, everyone. Please have a safe journey home, and let's hope we don't have to come back here again. Thank you. If we could get the crowd to hang there, they want to get a few more photos. If you can hold there for a minute, they want to get a few more photos, please.
I'm going to get some photos.
So here we are, everybody. On the steps of Parliament here, just in the act of getting some